mighty stegosaurus stomps through the steaming, tepid jungle in search of prey.
That's her in her pram. Our sissy knitted that maternity jacket. I told her before she started. I said it'll be far too small. But she wouldn't be told. And it was. He isn't right in his head. He ought to be locked up. It'll teach him a lesson.
A mighty stegosaurus leaps onto the back of an unsuspecting brontosaur and tears it limb from limb.
He should be put in a padded cell. In a straitjacket. Hot and cold baths they used to give them. Freezing cold and boiling hot. They don't bother much nowadays.
Stegosaurus, Mesozoic era, weight over 7,000 pounds. Despite its huge bulk, the stegosaurus was a timid creature and a vegetarian. Meow. Meow. Oh, poor stegosaurus. Did a nasty brontosaurus try to bite you then?
You silly, stupid so-and-so. I'm not kidding, lad. If you're right in the head, the rest of us must be balmy.
What's up?
What's up? I'll give you what's up before I finish. Look, you haven't been using my glue, have you?
Of course I haven't. What glue?
That tube of glue that I keep in my hay. Here we are, then. Look, that's it. That bloody glue.
Oh, is it yours?
You know bloody well it's mine. Look, I shall knock your head clean off your shoulders if you don't keep your hands off my belongings. And what the hell do you think you're doing any road?
I'm making a stegosaurus.
You're making a bloody mess, more like. Here, why aren't you at work?
Well, it's me morning off.
What morning off? You don't have a morning off.
Yes, I do. The morning I get off for going in last Saturday morning.
Oh, don't you bloody come it with me, lad. You didn't go in last Saturday. You were stuck in here in your pyjamas all Saturday morning watching Sesame Bloody Street with your grandma.
He lives in that dustbin, does Grouch. We call it dustbin. They call it trash can. United States of America.
That wasn't last Saturday. That was the Saturday before.
Right, I'm going to ring up Mr. Shadrach and ask him. And if you're lying and you haven't got the morning off, I'll take a bloody pickaxe handle to you, my lad.
Oh, Christ. I've just remembered. I did have this morning off, only I told Mr. Shadrach I wouldn't take it off and I'd go in and help out. Oh, well, that's life, I suppose. I'll see you later on. Toodle-pip, Grandma. Toodle-pip.
I'll toodle Pippi before I'm through. Here. Hey, what about all this mess you've left on the table?
Oh, I'm going to clear it up later.
Oh, you will, because it'll stop there if you have to eat our meals off the bloody floor. You'll clean it up when you come back home. Here, the gormless young hooligan. Hey, dopey. Where do you think you're going with a plastic bloody monster?
What plastic monster?
What? If you don't stop saying what to me, that plastic monster behind your back.
I want it for something.
What the thump do you want to take a plastic bloody monster out for?
Go on. Fetch him. Fetch him, Steggy. The mighty Stegosaurus, Mesozoic era. Despite its huge bulk, the Stegosaurus is a timid creature and a vegetarian. But on occasion it has been known to go berserk and devour the occasional television maintenance man.
One moment. Very, very unsatisfactory, Fisher. Very, very unsatisfactory. Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Our deepest sympathies. I trust we may be able to lighten your suffering.
I've called about a headstone.
Oh. Well, I'm afraid you've come to the wrong shop, madam. If you'll forgive my saying so. You see, what you need is a monumental mason. When did the interment take place?
Pardon?
When was the deceased buried?
Oh, I haven't had him buried yet. I've just called in about a headstone.
Oh, well, there are certain customary procedures. I mean, we mustn't try to run before we can walk, if you follow my meaning. When did you suffer your sad bereavement?
Yesterday afternoon, 20 to 3. He looked up at me, opened his eyes. I know he knew me, and then he went.
Were you contemplating up-to-date, modern-day expediency, cremation?
Oh, no.
No. More the traditional interment. Well, I can recommend the plots at St. Stephen's wholeheartedly.
What he'd like best is the little hole at the bottom of the garden.
Criminal act, madam. Oh, no, that's completely out of the question.
With a statue of himself as a headstone.
Oh, I see what you mean, Mrs.
Purvis.
Purvis. He's a wire-haired fox terrier.
Peter, bless him. That's just how he used to stand, with his little head cocked to one side.
Oh, very, very touching. But I'm afraid we don't cater for pets, madam. That's quite outside our sphere of business.
Well, I thought you might know where I could get a headstone made for him.
Well, no, you see, what you require is, well, a commoner garden jobbing sculptor to do you a wire-haired fox terrier in granite.
Granite? I want him in marble. Spencer's no object.
Oh. Oh, well, it's very irregular, but I could contact our own monumental mason as a special favour. He's a highly skilled artistic craftsman.
He sounds most reliable.
Well, if you'll just furnish me with your immediate particulars. We aim to please, that's our motto, and perhaps in the future we may have the opportunity of your further patronage.
I'm sorry I'm late, Mr. Shadrach, but when I explain the reason for my absence, I'm sure you will understand. Your grandma had her leg off this morning. I was in a bus crash, and I had to go to hospital to get my leg bandaged. It's in plaster. Yes, Mr. Shadrach, it is painful, very painful, but I'd rather carry on and get my work done. Introducing Billy Fisher, the only man to have his leg amputated at 10 a.m. and to sit down and do a day's work just 1 hour later. Ta-da!
Mr. Fisher, considering you had both your legs amputated this morning, how do you rate your chances of winning a gold in the 800 meters hurdles this afternoon?
Well, pretty slim, Adrian, pretty slim. But I'll promise you this, I'm not going out on that track for the exercise.
Step into my office, Fisher, now.
Now get this, Shadows. I'll come in there when I'm good and ready, okay?
Just come in, Mr. Shadrach.
Mr. Shadrach, it's a stegosaurus from the Mesozoic era, a harmless vegetarian. I've handled these fellows before.
I wonder what lame excuse will be proffered on this occasion.
Beg pardon, Mr. Shadrach?
You are precisely 73 minutes late, Fisher, or thereabouts. Why?
Look out for the bus! Look out! Oh, my dear, good God, look at the poor boy's legs.
Don't look, Daphne. Look the other way. I'm very sorry, Mr. Shadrach, but I overslept.
It's not considered good enough, Fisher, not by any manner of means. What are you fiddling about with behind your back?
Nothing, Mr. Shadrach, sir. I've got nothing behind my back at all.
In our opinion, there's too much going on behind people's backs and arriving late at one's place of employment and not enough consideration for one's employer. Any further recurrence of this, Fisher, you'll find a reduction in your pay packet. Is that clear?
Yes, Mr. Shadrach.
Get on with your work.
I shall tell him you've been spying on him.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Dobson. Did you want to see Mr. Shadrach?
Nay, he rang up and said he wanted to see me.
Well, do you want to go in?
Better.
I shan't keep you a moment, Dobson.
And this year's Nobel Prize for Sculpture goes to William Fisher for his monumental work, The Hungry Mouths. Mr. Fisher has donated his £50,000 award to Oxfam.
If it's concerning that alabaster angel with the 8-foot wingspan for St. Stephen's Cemetery, St. Stephen's gates, Mr. Shadrach, are only 7'6" wide.
It's concerning a little job of work, Dobson, which it is in our power to put in your way. Yes, a lady whose pet has passed away is having it dug in at the bottom of her garden. She'd like a marble facsimile of it made.
Yeah, that's a bit morbid, isn't it? What is it, a Persian tom or a dicky bird?
You'll find its likeness over there.
Oh, dear.
I don't care very much for that breed myself. Give me a red setter or a King Charles Spaniel any day.
You can say that again, Mr. Shadrach. How big does she want it made?
Oh, life size.
Life size. Yes, what size might that be exactly?
Well, you know the size of a wire-haired fox terrier.
Really? Really? No, it gives me the impression of being much bigger than that somehow. Personally, I wouldn't give the damn thing house room. Any road up, leave it to me, Mr. Shadrach. It shall be done.
Oh, if you're going into town, you can give me a lift to the High Street.
Yes, certainly.
Supersonic boom, Mr. Shadrach. A Concorde just went past.
Great big mouse, Mr. Shadrach. Ran right across your office floor.
The Diplodocus, a denizen of the Earth 150 million years ago, was longer than a London bus. Cripes.
Yes, and you'll be longer than a London bus if I flatten you with this.
Are you addressing me, Father?
And I don't want any back chat. Eat them bloody cornflakes and shut up.
Do as you're told, love.
Yeah.
For goodness sake, Billy.
You know, is prehistoric bloody monster daft? I caught him in here last week, bloody 9:30 in the morning, would you believe, and he sat in here gluing a bloody Stentosaurus up.
Stegosaurus, Dad.
Hey, don't you correct my bloody grammar.
Just do as your father tells you, and you're going to be late for work again this morning, aren't you? It's after 9 o'clock.
We had to get up. 5 o'clock we had to get up. And there were no alarm clocks in them days. Gas lamps we had. And a knocker-up that used to come along the street with a long stick and tap at your window. Tap, tap, tap.
The twinkling feet of Spread Astaire and Ginger Rogers, echoing another season of old and golden movies.
Hey, you take the mickey out of her one more time and I'll bloody crucify you. Hey, and answer that if you're bloody capable. Go on. What do you think you're doing? Are you going to answer that bloody phone or not?
Hello, Straddle and Sewerage Works here. Sullivan Fisher speaking.
Oh, hello, Mr. Shadrach. Yes, I was just leaving for work, and I'm sorry I'm a bit late, but my grandma's just tumbled down the cellar steps.
Yes, yes. It's considered you get away with too many prevarications and excuses, Fisher. I've got quite sufficient on my plate to contend with at the moment. There's been some sort of delivery cock-up. What should have gone to St. Stephen's Cemetery seems to have turned up here. It is required that you call round at Dobson's on your way in and pick up the movement order. And look sharp, Fisher.
Very good, Mr. Shadrach, and will you give her my sincere condolences, and I hope she's better soon. That was Mr. Shadrach, and he says I'm to rush in because his mother's just fallen down the cellar steps and severely bruised her ribcage.
I believe this is one of your stories.
It's not then, because you heard me talking to him, and anyway, it's true because he had to phone for an ambulance.
Oh, dear.
That was Mr. Shadrach, and he says I can have the morning off because his mother's just fallen off a ladder and cracked her ankle.
Don't you bloody come in with me, you British hooligan! Get out of this house and get to work.
Oh, lad. Can't you see I've got both arms full? Hello, Alice Fisher here. Oh, hello, Mr. Shadrach. No, he's just this minute left the house. Is it important?
Well, I asked him to call in somewhere this morning, and there was another little matter I forgot to mention. Never mind.
Bye-bye, then. Oh, by the by, I hope your mother recovers quickly.
My mother? I thought it was your mother.
Oh, I don't fathom him, Mr. Shadrach. I don't know what comes over him sometimes.
What's up with you?
He tells Mr. Shadrach my mother's fallen down the cellar steps, and blow me, he tells me it's Mr. Shadrach's mother.
Well, I've just given up completely. As I heard it, she'd come from top to bottom off a bloody ladder.
With you, dear Mum, our thoughts always. We miss you more and more each day.
You see, Billy, I told him, I said, it will not go through St. Stephen's gates, I said. It's like Charles Dickens once said, isn't it?
Is it?
How did he put it now? Angel's wingspan, 7'6", cemetery gates 8 foot, result, satisfaction. Angel's wingspan 8 foot, cemetery gates 7'6", result, total bloody disaster. I told him it'd never go through.
I think he's creating because it's been sent round to our office, Mr. Dobson.
Yes, well, it's no good it coming back to me, is it? I'm not accepting responsibility for it. Do you know, he's getting right up my nostrils, your Mr. Shadrach. You see, then, there's this other job that he's landed me with. Have you seen anything like that before? I mean, look at it. No. Well, he wants to try carving one of these damn things himself. I've had hell's own job with it.
Mr. Shadrach ordered it.
I mean, beats me why anyone wants to keep a thing like this, let alone put a monument up to it. I mean, what is it?
It's a stegosaurus.
Really, it looks more like something from Dark Ages to me. You see, Billy, my problem as a craftsman are these knobbles on its back. They chip off, do you see? Look, come through, I'll show you what I mean. Now, good grief. I think I've caught it. With its natural expression, like. You see, these are my biggest bugbear. You see, these knobbles, they chip off when you try to carve the detail. You know, Biddy, you can say what you like, but I wouldn't fancy one of these sat in front of my fireplace. No? You can say what you like. I'll stick to my old Tom Moggy every time. Ah, it's a beautiful... Oh, there's somebody at showroom.
And so, fellow members of the British Paleontology Society, I think my brilliant discovery proves, without doubt, that the Stegosaurus not only survived the Mesozoic era, but is to be found today in certain parts of the West Riding of Yorkshire. Henceforth shall this dinosaur be known as the Sir William Fisher Stegosaurus.
It's a very, very unprofessional way of doing business, Mr. Dobson. Very, very unprofessional.
Look, I followed instructions, Mr. Shadrach, as per pro. If I am designated an 8-foot wingspan, I work to those specifications.
It's more than a question of Angel's wingspans, Mr. Dobson. It's delays all round. If I brief my office junior to call in here, I don't set eyes on him for the rest of the day.
What, young lady? Well, he's here now. That's funny. You were here a minute since. You must have nipped out back way and gone to your place.
It's more than a question of junior employees, Mr. Dobson. It's a question of a bucksheep perk we passed your way, still not augmented.
If it's a question of that animal, Mr. Shadrach, in future you can take your bucksheep perks elsewhere.
How so?
Now, so? Because marble animals with knobbles on their back are no bucksheep perk as far as I'm concerned.
What knobbles? Knobbles where?
It's knobbles up and down its back.
Where? I'm not aware it had knobbles. What, underneath its fur?
It's fur? What fur?
It's fur!
It never had no fur.
Well, it never had a knobbly back mat. Of course it had fur!
Look, it's easily settled because we'll go and look at the damn thing.
Right, we will.
Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Oh, dear, no. Do you know, he amazes me with his own strength sometimes.
Is that it?
It was.
There's a few quid's worth of marble gone there, Mr. Dobson.
You ordered it, Mr. Shadrach. We'll lose 50-50 on the breakage.
I'm very sorry, Mr. Dobson, but I did not accept delivery.
50-50, Mr. Shadrach. Or I'll not be accepting delivery of an oversized angel when you try and send it back. That's a nobble.
One wonders whether this is part of my animal at all.
Well, it's easily proved, isn't it? I've got that plastic model of it somewhere.
A plastic model? I gave you a photograph.
A plastic model? It's knocking about somewhere.
Well, it was a colour snapshot.
I know a plastic model when I see one.
Well, I know a colour snap when I see one.
I'm not sick of you and that plastic bloody monster. Hey, why aren't you at work?
It's my lunch hour.
I thought you were supposed to have your lunch at that bloody cafe in town.
Oh, yeah, well, I do usually, but not this week. I'm on a diet.
What diet? You never told me. And what have you been doing with your lunch money?
Hey, stand up.
What for?
Here, look, now then, this is where the lunch money's gone. Build your own Brachiosaurus, the biggest dinosaur in the world. Haven't we got enough monsters in this house without you fetching any more home? If he's right in the head, I want putting away.
You're not so silly. Cost of freedom's getting higher. Keep on dreaming, you Billy.